Hi, everybody. And hi, my beautiful sister and co-host, all the way from Mesa, Arizona, and myself from Rhodes in Greece, right? I think you have a hotter climate than we have. So we are blessed with the sea. But it's getting really summer in the middle of July, actually. Yes. So welcome, beautiful souls, into a space where sensitivity is not something to manage or hide, but something to honor, cherish, and celebrate. In this Cosmic Sis-Stars gathering, we will open the field to the soft, shimmering truth that being sensitive is a profound strength, and it is. It is the way your heart listens beyond words, the way your energy feels what others overlook, the way your inner world perceives life through layers of depth, nuance, and quiet wisdom. Sensitivity is a cosmic language. It is the gentle attunement that allows you to sense alignment, to recognize resonance, to feel truth before it is spoken. It is the bridge between the seen and the unseen, the human and the multidimensional, the moment and the mystery. Sensitive souls carry a natural connection to intuition, creativity, and compassion. And today we explore how this gift becomes a guiding light rather than a burden. In this conversation, we invite you to embrace your sensitivity as a sacred part of your design, to see it as a finely tuned instrument that perceives more, feels more, and understands more. To recognize that your tenderness is not fragility but awareness, not overwhelm but openness, not weakness but wisdom. Together we step into the beauty of being sensitive, the beauty of being awake, the beauty of being deeply, luminously alive. And today, everybody, we have July 15th in US and Europe, and our future Australia, Thursday, July 16th. And we talk about the beauty of being sensitive. It is a true beauty, to be honest. And if you have any questions or want to say hello in the chat or anything, don't be shy, guys. Please let us know you're watching. Last show on Cosmic Sis-Stars with Miss Karina and myself was last Wednesday, July 8th. And we talked about conversations with a higher self. We go live on YouTube every week for you, every Wednesday at youtube.com/@cosmicguardians111/streams and youtube.com/@angelplaceonearth/streams. And we stream the replay after the show at facebook.com/cosmicguardian. Now, let's gather our energy, take a deep breath, and arrive fully into this moment and dive very deep into today's show.
Yes. Well, something just inspired me, and I'm going to pass it on. I would love for everybody to feel that subtle energy, and everybody can. And what I do with my meditation group, and when I'm doing a coaching class, I will teach them this technique. But if you put your hands together like this, until you can feel the warmth between them. Okay, that's just the normal warmth. But when you start bringing them apart a little bit, and you can still feel like you've got something in there, and you start playing with this, and as you play with it, you realize that you can actually feel the energy and moving it over time further and further away. Then you can start playing with it by putting it like, whoa, over the head and
Oh,
down the body. And this is the subtle realm that sensitive people live in 24/7. We are sensitive to everything that is around us because we are connected. We're not broken. And our sensitivity is a gift of our divine humanness. This is what really makes us human. We are created to develop all of our senses: telekinesiology, telepathic communication. These are senses that we have been told don't do that. It's not fashionable. But as we evolve into the greater essence of our consciousness, we become that sensitive, aware being. And our ancestors, as far back as Atlantis and Lemuria, realized how powerful and beneficial utilizing our sensitivity to connect to those higher vibrations, to the oneness, and trusting our sensitivity was the way of leading the world into a harmonious place.
beautifully said.
Mhm.
And sensitivity is very often misunderstood in our world, a world that celebrates speed, efficiency, and emotional armor, right?
Right.
But it's not a weakness to be corrected. It's a profound and luminous gift. It is a way of perceiving life through a wider lens, a way of feeling the subtle currents that others overlook, a way of living with an open heart that can sense truth before it's spoken. Sensitivity is a natural attunement to the unseen layers of existence, a soft strength that reveals the beauty of being fully alive. And I've heard many, and I've gone through this phase myself as well, probably you too, long time ago. You know, when we feel overwhelmed by the sensitivity, and maybe we are also um, being told that you are too sensitive. But when people say that, they usually mean when we pick up things that we probably react to them. Being sensitive and honoring this gift is to become the master of it, meaning that we're going to be able to master what we are picking up to the degree that it's not affecting us. But a lot of people I talk to say, but I avoid going into crowds. I avoid going because that person is over at that place. And I can understand that because we are picking up things that may not feel great, but you know, it's a gift, and eventually every one of us is going to master it, right?
Yes, and it's interesting. I love the way the universe works, um, and I go. We should probably have the podcast before I write my article because when we start talking, then things start growing. Interestingly enough, we all have been taught that you're too emotional, you're too sensitive, you got to harden up, you got to have a hard core to get through life, and all of these things. And I realized that the powers that be do not want us to be sensitive because we feel what's going on. We can feel truth coming from people. We can feel when the earthquake is getting ready to hit. And everything that has been shown to us is to numb us. So when something happens in reality, we go, oh, well, that was cool. Like all of the horrific scenes that come into the movies now.
Yeah.
I have seen when I was involved in a situation where a young man on a motorcycle decided to scoot around me and lost control of the motorcycle and is laying there bleeding. Well, I have had EMT training, so I immediately went into that. But the people that were standing around gawking, going, oh, well, that's cool. And they were so used to seeing blood and broken bones that there was no sensitivity. There was no emotion. It was like, okay, what's going to happen next? When 9/11 happened, the people on the street go, is this a video game? Oh, look how those planes. It was, they were so insensitive that they they had it just moved out of them. It was not part of their being. And this is why being sensitive is so vital to our survival.
Yeah,
And
it is.
and telephones turning on. Excuse me. Oh,
That's okay.
I forgot that shoulder doesn't like to be pushed in that direction. So, but it is true when you have a child that's sensitive and you tell them don't be shy, be assertive and everything else. We are destroying the one thing that separates us from all other things, is using that perception to guide us to make a more compassionate, loving result from what we're going to do. And then we condemn animals. Oh, well, that horse is too sensitive, you can't ride it. Well, that horse is trying to tell you, you're acting like a real idiot and I don't want to be around you, and I'm going to I'm not going to
Yeah.
play with you. And yet a small child is forced into a situation. And I'm sorry that warrior just came out of me.
No, don't apologize.
It needed to be said, because when you are sensitive, beautiful, beautiful people, embrace it. This is your superpower. This is not a bad thing. Learning how to utilize it, it's no different than any other gift that you have. If you play an instrument, or you want to write, or you want to do something, you develop it. Develop it. Embrace it. And
Yes.
hail to
Yes.
the sensitivities.
Yes. And like everything else that we haven't been taught, that we are learning by living it, um, it can feel like a roller coaster sometimes, but that's
Yes.
okay. Eventually, everybody's going to master it. And, if we lose that sensitivity, what do we have then? Because we see life through the lens of love.
Hmm.
So you went to that person because you could utilize your training, you could help him. But sometimes I also see, and I think about when people are taking videos that are real of an injured person
Hmm.
or an accident or something.
Yes.
Why do you have time to take the video and not going there and be of help,
Mhm.
for instance?
Yeah. And that's part of losing your sensitivity. You are not, you don't respond viscerally to, oh, how can I be of service? Even if I can just hold the energy, if I can just, start pouring love into that person instead of gawking. And because they have become insensitive, they have to try something a little bit more risky, a little bit more crude and rude, in order to have any feeling at all. We are sensual beings.
Here we
We
are.
are supposed to be able to feel these things. and lovingly respond. But sensitive people, dear friend, like you and I, we can be stomped on, but we cannot be controlled. And that
No,
scares people that want to control. And,
exactly.
you know,
That thing is not even on the map, right?
nope,
No.
nope.
So
Oh,
sensitivity is a bridge also between worlds.
very much so.
It connects the physical and the ethereal, the spoken and the silent, the human and the cosmic.
Yes.
Sensitive souls very often carry a natural connection to intuition, creativity, and inner truth, the inner knowing that we just have. They can hear the whispers of their higher self, which we talked about connection to the higher self last week, right?
Hmm.
Um, and we can hear that with clarity. We can sense the collective heartbeat of humanity and respond with compassion rather than judgment. Sensitivity also brings depth. It allows you to experience beauty in ways that others may miss. A
Yeah.
simple moment can become a portal into wonder. A gentle breeze can feel like a message. A conversation can open into revelation. Sensitive beings live with a richness that cannot be measured by logic alone. Their inner world is vast, textured, and filled with meaning.
Yes.
And as a sensitive person, in the beginning, stubbornly dedicating myself to dig into this and open myself up and understand how it works, it has made me less prone for depression
Hmm.
because you just know there is more. So even us who have, because we are living on this dense earth, like incarnated human beings, without reading the fine text on the contract. I'm joking.
That's true.
Uh, but it can feel really challenging sometimes here. It's a very dense and thick and strange energy sometimes. And specifically for the last few years, it haven't become lighter. It's going to be at a certain point
Hmm.
when more and more people awaken and say no to a lot of things. But we have been taught that we are not to trust anything that we can't touch or see or physically hear.
Hmm.
But our sensitivity includes inner vision, inner hearing, um, inner
Yep.
senses. And if we don't allow anyone to take those away from us, no one can. But it's a matter of dedicating yourself to experience, right?
Hmm. And I love the comment that even though you and I come from, we're talking about the same subject, but we come from the different way. And when you were explaining the differences between sensitive and insensitive, and what came to me when I was writing, it's the difference between sacred and secular,
Yes.
between real and illusion, between the power and the powerless. And uh, it's amazing. I know in my life, I'm either too sensitive or I'm, how can a sensitive person react like that? So I go, I'm tired of trying to live up to your illusion of what I should be. But because we're sensitive, we are very passionate. And in that passion, yes, I'm going to get fierce, loving, but fierce. And it's interesting because I found this written, and it always comes, something shows up and it says, oh, well, add this: be kind but be tough. I forgive, but I remember what I learned. I am kind, but I am not a doormat. I make peace, but I prioritize my self respect. I am gracious, but I don't enable toxic behavior. I listen, but I stand up for myself. I am patient, but I will not be disrespected. And I speak with empathy, but I am clear and assertive. I am compassion, but I will not be manipulated. So a
Good.
sensitive person doesn't just go, "Oh, that is so wonderful. Isn't it beautiful?" Because if it's beautiful, that's great. But if it needs to be changed, I'm going to come in like a bulldozer, and I'm going to, you know, help move through to get things done. And that is because I am sensitive to the emotions around. And the beauty about animals is they live in that world of sensitivity. They know how you're feeling before you know how you're feeling. And it's beautiful to express this gift because this is how we are going to bring that harmony to the world. But even in the most beautiful thing in the world, let's take a woman having a baby, giving birth. It is painful. It is hard. It is long. But it is so beautiful to have moved through what you need to move through to bring that sensitive being into the world. So celebrate your sensitivity.
Yes. Yes. Well,
I am
we live.
I am so off the beaten track today, but I am just like I all of a sudden I get this surge of passion and oh, just give it a hug, but also give it a little shove. I like that. Give it a hug, but give it a shove.
Remember that. Okay.
Yes, I'm going to write it down.
So it's interesting you talked about kindness because this world very much have its own interpretation of what kindness is, right? And
Yeah.
usually it's equal with being naive, being stupid, silly, blue-eyed.
Hmm.
That's
Red hair. I
not
got them all.
understanding. Yeah, not being able to say no. And I've experienced that in my life too, because I'm a kind person. And it came to me to the extent where I said to myself, okay, I'm at a crossroads. Am I going to change who I am to fit into the world? Or am I going to learn how to manage this instead of reacting to it? Right?
Hmm.
And that was a very significant change for me because I'm not a mean person. I don't want to be mean, but that doesn't mean that I don't have boundaries, right?
That's right.
So sensitivity requires care, and you could say that that is a part of that care, understanding yourself, not changing yourself to fit into to someone else's opinion about you or in a box that the world wants to put you in. And the care needs for you to understand your sensitivity's nature. It can feel overwhelming. Energies can feel too loud.
Hmm.
Emotions can feel too heavy. The world can feel too intense. This is why sensitive souls very often need more rest. But if you need more rest, get it.
Hmm.
More quiet, more intentional boundaries, not because sensitive people are weak, but because they are finely tuned instruments. You could see
Hmm.
yourself like a tuning fork, that vibrates.
Exactly.
And
Yes.
a sensitive person's nervous system is designed to perceive more, and therefore it needs more space to recalibrate,
Yep.
right?
Yes. Because we feel the vibrational shifts. We feel the frequencies as they change. We read the energy around all things because we see, we know, and respond, and we are able to adjust to the situation. And I've learned this especially when I am working with someone that comes and wants to be attuned in Reiki. And we all have that energy around it, but having the Reiki attunements redefines everything. Having Reiki moving through your body is like having a bolt of electricity running through your body 24/7. Your nervous system, your physical body would be destroyed. But with the attunements, it is like putting a protection around your nervous system so it can handle this energy and come through. As a sensitive person, we have to find for ourselves because we can't go to a school for sensitivity, unfortunately. You know, we we learn how to protect ourselves as we go along. But having putting that sheath around our nervous system and still allowing the sensitivity to move through, but not having it, destroy us as we're trying to utilize it. This is something that we need to start a sensitivity school.
I think so, yes.
But when I think of how you and I grew up in completely different places, but we were bombarded with the same prejudice, the same fears, the same you're not going to fit in stuff. Um, and I look at myself now and speaking here and doing these things. And I remember growing up, you can't be that shy. You need to be polite. You need to do this. And I thought, my nervous system wasn't ready to handle all of this. And I think you and I have done a pretty decent job of making it to this part in our life. you know.
Well, we have indeed. Because, like we mentioned, it can feel really overwhelming. And I've been through that phase to myself,
Mhm.
to the point where I said I started building up shields around me. I
Yeah.
started with a bubble filled with light, and I ended up putting up etheric bricks, a brick wall
Yeah, I've
to
done
just,
that also.
yeah, to just, but we need to honor this gift of ours and understand how it works for us. And that's when we do master it. And that's, we have been talking about this too, uh, detaching yourself a little bit, taking a step back. It doesn't mean that we say, I don't care about anything. It means I don't jump with both feet into something. I feel it in first, and then I decide, am I going to
Mhm.
participate or am I going to withdraw? Right?
Yep.
But I had a colleague once, I said this before, and it was so funny for me. He said to me, you're so sweet and so kind, you can never say no, can you? And I said, okay. I looked him straight in the eye. Okay, come closer and try me. He didn't come. And I called him chicken.
Yes, the peaceful warrior. You don't mess with the peaceful warrior. Uh, an angry person, you know where they're coming from. You just never know. But I love the way that you said, we put the brick wall up. Uh, I started developing a way of protecting myself, and I laughingly called it putting myself in Spock mode, from Star Trek, because he had all the emotions under control, sir. Yes, I have emotions, but I have them under control. And I can honestly say that before I knew who I was and what I came here to do, that really was my survival technique. I it, it, I kept all of my sensitivity locked in, and that's not healthy. But it gave me a chance to survive until I could get to a point where I realized that this our sensitivity is what humanity, no, let's not use that word, what the anti humanity wants to remove from us. Greg Braden has written this book, The Pure Human, and that is the one thing that he says, that this is what is being attacked, not nuclear bombs, not climate change, but humanity. Our sensitivity is being visibly attacked. They want to remove that. If they remove the empathy, if they remove our sensitivity, then we can watch horrific things and just not have any uh, response to it at all. They can tell us to do things and we just do them without going, this doesn't feel right. This person is not being cared for. This is what it's all about.
Yes.
I think talking about this subject and last night at meditation, and it came through so much, the messages from my crew, and they were telling everybody that was here, please know how vitally you are important to the very existence of humankind,
Yeah.
and utilize these gifts. Know that they are your strengths. So again, I'm going into that passion, but I'm just like that warrior's coming out in me. You know? And we don't fight in anger, but we respond in love. And I love who I know that I am and what I came here to do. I don't have all the answers. I really don't. If I did, you know, everybody'd be happy. But I'm existing in my existence and doing the best I can with what I have. And I know passionately that staying within your sensitivity and developing that is crucial to the existence of
Yes.
the human being.
Yes. And when we talk about detaching oneself from situations, sometimes it doesn't mean, like we said, not feeling into things, right?
Right.
Because as sensitive beings, we very often can put ourselves into someone else's clothes or shoes, right? We
Yep.
can. We can feel. And that is the gift. That is what makes us human, right? The beauty of being sensitive, therefore, lies in the way it opens your heart. It opens your heart. It doesn't close your heart, right?
Correct.
It allows you to love with sincerity, unconditionally, in our best ability, right? It allows you to connect with others in meaningful ways. It allows you to experience life not just as a sequence of events, but as a living, breathing tapestry of energies, because everything is energy,
Hmm.
emotions, and possibilities. Sensitivity is the self way of reminding you that you are part of something larger, something sacred, and something interconnected. And the only thing we can do is to work on ourselves, because that is the most helpful thing. And I also want to mention something that actually is kind of funny. Uh, I realized after some time, because I made my safety net stronger, right? So I ended up with brick walls, right? But what happened? I was at that time working in an environment with many people, a lot of people. And my intention behind was that I was frustrated, that I could feel all these things, so I wanted to shield myself. But here comes another key. It's the intention behind what we do create around us that counts
Mm-hmm.
more than probably anything else. So I went outside because I was working in the center of Stockholm. So once in a while, I went outside into the city after work with friends. And I remember one specific time we were standing outside a shop. I placed myself so I wouldn't be in the way of someone, right? And my friend was standing kind of in the middle, so you could think that they would run into her. No, they didn't. They ran into me. And that opened my eyes, and I said, I'm doing something here because I put all my attention of I was irritated and annoyed, right? I put all
Mm-hmm.
my attention on that I don't want to be annoyed with people, right? And anger, actually, irritation and anger holds sometimes more energy than joy
Yep.
because we focus so intense on it, right? And we don't think about that. That's something to actually be aware of, because I did create more of those things when I shielded myself that I didn't want. Does that make sense?
Very much so. I mean, uh, what your intention is what's going to come to you. So when you're saying, well, I don't want that to happen, that's exactly what's going to happen. And the world is so heavy, and it really tends to celebrate the negativity, and this can be overwhelming. I'm learning how to swim upstream. It's not a whole lot of fun, but opening all your senses requires courage, strength, resilience, and determination. Stubbornness, tenacity, determination. But to stay true to yourself and learning to live with this magnificent gift requires finding and believing in your true worth,
Yes.
loving yourself enough to say, I am valued, I am valuable, and I contribute to the majesty and the grandeur of all humanity. My place is essential, and without me, the whole world would not be complete. We
Beautiful.
are here to bring that shift to all people, not just one person, two people. If we all were more sensitive to what was going on around us, we wouldn't step on another person's toes. We wouldn't be unkind. We would find a way to have it so everybody could achieve what they wanted to do, and it would be done with integrity. It would be done with kindness. It would be done with compassion. And
Yes,
we have to humbly honor ourselves because we came here and we are empowered and we can do so much more.
we can.
But surviving long enough to find our authenticity, that's the key.
Yes. And not being afraid of interacting with people, because that's also common at a certain stage. And I've been through that too. You probably
Oh,
had
yeah.
too. When we withdraw from things because I don't want to go into that crowd. I don't want to go to see that person because the other person is going to be present there. So when we master, and that's the good news, when we master our sensitivity, we don't react to those things any longer.
No.
We respond in a different way, and there's a big difference between reacting and responding. A huge difference, right?
Yes.
In this show, you and I, we celebrate sensitivity as a cosmic trait, It is a part of everybody's multidimensional nature. It's a part of everybody's spiritual intelligence. It is a part of everybody's purpose. Sensitive souls are often the ones who anchor new frequencies. Interesting. Who
Yeah.
hold space for others, who sense the shifts of the collective, who bring light into places where it has been forgotten. And to be sensitive is to be beautifully human and profoundly cosmic at the same time. It is to
Yes.
walk through life with open eyes and an open heart. It is to feel the world not as a burden, but as a symphony. It is to know that your sensitivity is not something to hide, but something to honor, nurture, and celebrate. And the beauty of being sensitive is the beauty of being awake. It is the beauty of being connected. It is the beauty of being true.
Yes. And I love the word when you said hold space. When I'm working with a client, when I'm doing um, soul counseling, when I'm doing meditation, I don't come into this situation as, look at me, I've got it all together. I come here to hold that sacred space for you. Yes, energetically, I can open this space to the interdimensional realms. That's one of the things that I have, is being able to hold this oneness, so you can touch it easily. You can benefit from it without having to do years and years and years of heavy lifting, so to speak. And um, when you hold that space, a person, all of a sudden, I watch as their expression changes, and it's like a flood of recognition, and the tears of joy when they find that they just uh, excuse me, reality is coming in. I forgot to plug in here. Let me.
That's okay.
It's telling me my battery is running low, and I forgot to plug in. See, I get drawn back into the the realm of real stuff. So,
Yes.
uh, uh, but being able to hold this space, so they don't have to spend 50 years working through all their stuff. They can come and they can be in that loving energy and start developing from that point. I know with myself that I came here to kind of uh, like the battering ram. I had to open up the doors to this, and I had to find my way. And all of this was to make it so these young souls can step into that energy and then go even further. And holding
Fantastic.
space is a very important thing to allow
And that's
people
a
to
big,
move.
yeah, it's a big part of healing,
Yes.
because a healer doesn't actually take on the other person's stuff. A
No.
healer opens the doors. That's what a healer does, and
Yep.
helps the other person to understand and see and feel whatever they need, right?
Yes. I had a blessed conversation with someone that I have not had um, in 60 years, and I was so amazed that out of the blue this person called me, very close relative, and they were saying that they know that there has got to be love and kindness out there in the world, but all they keep seeing and hearing is the hard stuff. And they said, are we just spinning our wheels? And I said, no. I said, every human being that holds this sensitivity, we're making a difference but we only see what the negativity wants us to see. So that's only 2% of what's really happening. What is really happening is all of the beauty that we don't see. That's under the direct vision of what's going on. And this person said, and I love the way that you said it. He said, I am not going to change the way that I respond to people just to fit in and just to make a buck. He said,
Yeah.
I need money to pay bills and things, but I am not going to gouge somebody. But he was questioning how that he would give of his services and give of his time. And then a person who had no sensitivity would not even afford the energy that they owed him for a job. And he says, so how do you fit into this? How do you still be sensitive and still be able to say, okay, this is the energy exchange when I speak with you? And I told him, I said, I apologize. I said, I have been dealing with this and it's taken me a long time to do it because I talked myself out of it. And when somebody comes in need and you go, okay, I have the time and everything else, and you realize that if you were, quote, even a minimal business person, when I had a secretary that collected the fees, was no problem. They'd come in and she'd say, okay, it's this much for that and that for, because I was detached from it. But when it's one-on-one, it's like, okay. And then you realize you've been speaking with them for 3 hours and they're only giving you energy for a half an hour. And you go, okay, how does this work? But he says, I won't change. He says, I'm not going to change the way that I respond to people. And that's when we talked about, like you and I, of setting boundaries. And then you can always bend something. This is the energy exchange for you to receive this. This is the energy exchange for you to receive that. And you can always be flexible with that if the situation presents itself. But it is hard for sensitive people to say, you know what? Here's my card, make an appointment.
Yeah.
I mean, a lawyer wouldn't talk to you outside of the office, you know? And I have tried going in grocery stores and saying, I'm here. I have all this energy I'm going to give you. Can I fill up my grocery basket? And they go, say what? So in the three-dimensional world, we do need to have, and even in the energy world, we need energy exchange for energy. Whether you bring me 3 pounds of rice, whether you clean my house, whether you uh, help me with my car, these are energy exchanges. And people have forgotten that there's that ebb and flow. And I reassured him that really we are making a difference. It's just that media definitely does not want you to know that all of these kind things happen. Like we'll be reading about some superstar that you didn't even know, that every week he goes and he opened places to feed the hungry. And he goes in and he serves food to them. But that's never advertised. So we are making a difference.
We
Hang
are
in there.
making a difference.
Hang in
Yes.
there.
And also, just a reminder, remember that working on yourself is a process.
Yep.
Never ever a quick fix. Doesn't exist. It is also a catalyst for the greatest changes for the future.
Mm-hmm.
Greatest. Absolutely. So, my lady or sister, are you ready for the hot seat?
Oh, let me just shift a little bit.
Let's
I'm
say
I'm sure that these easy
darn, right?
questions are just going to be.
They are
Okay.
easy peasy, okay?
Yeah.
We always love to have 5 questions related to the topic. And I usually ask Miss Corrine here. Sometimes she's throwing them back at me. But these questions are also for all of you listening and watching to reflect upon, right? Because that is
Yes.
the purpose. How do I feel personally for each and every question? So, first
Yes.
one, what does being sensitive mean to you in your everyday life?
As simply as I can put it, it means being alive. If I were not sensitive to the things around me, it would be no different than being a robot and doing tasks. If I couldn't be sensitive to hearing the bird that is sitting outside the window, if I couldn't be sensitive to watching when the rain finally comes to Arizona, which it happened 2 nights ago, and we're all out there going, "Yay!" It's something is falling from the sky, and but without my sensitivity, I would perish.
Yeah,
So
beautifully said.
it's my life. It's my life.
Yes. And exactly, we would be just like robots,
Yep.
not having feelings, not having senses at all, not reflecting over things, right? So, second question, when has your sensitivity helped you understand something more deeply? I guess a million times for you.
And back at you. I don't I don't know when there has been a situation that once I got, maybe when I fully embraced my sensitivity, I was able to have a greater understanding than when I was ignoring my sensitivity and just coming from, okay, A equals B, B equals C. But when I become sensitive, I have the whole alphabet before me. And yeah, I don't know when being sensitive has been a negative. Let's put it this way.
Never, never, no.
No.
Third question, how do you care for your sensitive nature when the world feels loud?
Oh. As I have developed and understood that um, putting up a brick wall isn't going to work, and I really basically limit my time to being in really chaotic situations. And if I need to be in a chaotic situation, then I will go into I call it mindful meditation. I will be in my sanctuary. I don't shut down, but I just close the drapes in my mind and I go into my little quiet room and I am with myself, um, and I go into a meditative state. And if I can't really, like when there's a lot of commotion, I've had a lot of people moving things around, and so I just sit and I be still. But when I have to engage in what's going on, I still stay in a meditative state. I still stay connected to my higher self. And when you're in a chaotic situation, there's a lot of times where you have to say, going to stay in this state rather than being pulled out of it. So that's where it takes a little bit more effort to stay in that place of calmness. Um,
Yeah.
and I laughingly, when I go in to have anything done, like having teeth done and stuff, and I will tell the doctor ahead of time, I said, I'm going into a deep meditation. And I said, I'll be able to talk to you and hear you, but I'm not really totally here. I'm kind of between the worlds. And they understand that because when I go into a deep meditation, I can function in the world, but I am not of the world.
Yeah, that's a good thing. And that helps you because it's not only that we find ourselves sometimes in challenging circumstances, right?
Right.
Um, we can find that we have a few, usually not only one person, who's going to try to push their way
Oh,
us
tell
to
me.
obey, right?
Right.
And I actually have a wonderful answer to that. So if anyone tries to push me that I need to do something now, I said, okay, that is a no. If you
Red
give me
flag.
time, I may actually consider or not consider, but I'm going to reflect over it. I'm thinking about it. But if it's no time, it's a no.
Yep.
And I put it back at them and I say, you choose.
Yeah. And that's really a good way of handling it. It's like as you say, taking that pause before you respond. But anything that has to be done immediately, yes, if a car is coming at you, step out of the way. That's a different situation. But if somebody tells you you have to make this decision right now, no, I I
No,
I don't. And when that happens, that's like waving a red flag in front of me. It's like now I'm even going to take a little longer to ponder this because you have an
exactly.
urgency that is not logical. I mean, there's no big bear coming that I have to respond to. So you can just thank you very much, but I will think about it. Yeah.
Exactly. Or if they push again, it's a no. Thank you. Bye bye. Arrivederci.
Yeah. Keep pushing, and
So,
the answer is definitely going to be no. Yeah.
exactly. So, fourth question. What beauty do you notice because of your sensitivity that others might miss?
Oh, dear sister. Sometimes when I'm working with people, and I had this beautiful young man that I worked with, and he would see me every week for a Reiki session, and he said to me, he said, "I'm not ready to die. I have things that I need to get done." And the medical profession kept saying, "Well, your blood pressure is this and this and this. You're going to die next week." Da, 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 da. And he said, "I'm not ready. I'm not ready. I have things to do." He went a year and a half past his death date.
Wow.
And when he was ready to make his transition, I told him I would sit with him. And he calls me up one night and he says, "I'm ready to go." And I sat with him and I held the energy. And he looked up and he says, "Well, how are we doing?" And I said, "Scott, see what I am seeing. Feel what I am feeling. You know, move into the world between the worlds." And being able to do this and being able to hold that energy for people to feel and see beyond, um, without being sensitive, I wouldn't be able to have this experience. I wouldn't be able to see beyond. I wouldn't be able to come up to a situation and see that as things shift, the beauty that is coming. I would I wouldn't be able to visit the crystal cities. I wouldn't be perfectly human
No.
if I lost my sensitivity.
And that must be the most wonderful gift of everything that
Mhm.
you experience, right?
Yeah.
It's something, um, there are actually no words for it
No,
in this language.
I,
Maybe
I
in light language or in a cosmic language or
yeah,
whatever.
When I speak, the light language, um, it's not so much the words, it's the vibration. So I will tell you in the language of light. Furikšnali, furimane šunata kisi paka, ete hura kimisikana, ele itama, hufasha kabete, sepe ke ama antio data she. Oh, thank you. Okay. It's
Thank you.
it's it's beauteous. Beauteous, yes.
So, last question. How has embracing your sensitivity changed the way you relate to yourself? Oh,
Oh,
the
I love
best
that simple question. Oh, that is a multiple answerable question. There are times when it's like, come on, you need to do more. There's like, hey, we're doing the best we can. Um, eh, okay, I'm just going to take a rest here. Anna, how has embracing your sensitivity changed the way you relate to yourself?
Oh, thank you. I see your joy now, right? But it has been life changing for me. I've always been strong, and I had a very good first part of my childhood. I'm so happy for that. I had my great grandmother and everything, you know, and my grandmothers and other people around, of course. But she was someone very, very special to me, and my grandfather. So I think that what it has done for me, I've never been afraid of going against the stream. I always had that kind of confidence, and I always knew, I was always told that you can do anything. You're smart, you are this, and you are that, and you can. You're very good. Then I encountered situations in my life that throw me a little bit off, you could say. But because I had that strength, I could understand. And that is also part of my sensitivity, because it's not something that I discovered when I was grown up. I had it, but I've gone through different stages in how I utilized it for myself. And at a certain point, because we have this feeling when we start off, after a year and a half, 2 years, I said, now I know everything. I got it. But
Oh,
then all these things are coming back to us so that we can discover, experience, and learn how this really functions. So, embracing my sensitivity, I think the turning point for me was when I stopped feeling overwhelmed about all these things that came to me and realized that I'm the master of how I utilize this for myself. And I was way over. I was almost maybe 40, over 40 probably when that happened. But it doesn't mean that it was a wasted time before that, because it was a learning time. This is not something that we can be taught in school. They don't teach us, or when we are growing up, how this is going to work for us. And I have also to say that it hasn't made me bringing on an attitude. I'm not thinking that I'm the best in the world, right? That's not about that. I would have been off the track if I had those thoughts. It's the sensitivity is more like understanding, and when you utilize it, you don't get affected. You don't react to what's going on around you. You respond, and that's a conscious
Yes.
choice. That's the difference, right?
Yep.
Do you agree?
I do. And something just, popped in. I love the way that they drop things into my brain here. Um, when I was going through all of this when, where, why, what, and everything else, I finally reached a point where it's like I don't really need to know everything. And I was given this little saying, going with the flow and know that you know. And and
Yeah,
and and it's just like you don't have to keep having the answer to this or to that. Just know that you already know it. It's there, and when you need it, it'll be there. And it took a lot of pressure, a lot of pressure off because for the first I was able to start stepping into my true self after, like, in my early 40s, and for 40 years I've been 50 years now. I have been kind of working out all the kinks and everything, and I finally got to this point, and it was after my house burned down and all of my books, and I'm looking at all my books that can't be used, and I had this, where do I start? And I had this overwhelming feel of, as they put their arms around me and they said, you know that everything in those books you already know. You've written some of those books. So we understand that you like to open the pages, and that's fine. Go get yourself a book and play with the book. But everything you need to know, you already know. And it will be revealed to you. And I'm going, oh, okay. And I think as we mature, we get to that feeling where, even though we don't have all the answers to this and this, like, I don't know what I said to you when I was speaking that language, but I could feel the vibration and I could feel the intensity of it. And I trust that on another level, everybody understood what they needed to understand. So going with the flow and know that you know. And I thought, okay, that's going to be a whole lot easier.
that's brilliant. So, do you want to read the affirmation for today?
I do. I do. I love reading your words. Okay. I honor my sensitivity as a sacred gift. I allow myself to feel deeply, to sense the truth softly, and to listen to my whole being. My tenderness is my strength. My openness is my wisdom. My sensitivity guides me with clarity, compassion, and quiet knowing, and I embrace who I am fully and gently, trusting the beauty that moves through me. Ah, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So, is there anything else we want to touch upon? Always, right?
Always. But until we meet again,
And thank you for the light language. That was special. That was really special. Thank
you're
you.
welcome.
So, with these words, from everything we said, affirmations, questions, digging within, let all these words echo softly within you as we close our circle today. You can find upcoming and past episodes at youtube.com/at Cosmic Guardians 111/streams and youtube.com/at Angel Place on Earth/streams and angelplaceonearth.com/upcoming-past. You can connect with Miss Corrine and myself, read articles, and find out more about just about everything that we talk about, right? Articles and things at angelfaceonearth.com/cosmic guardians. And you can find Corrine Mooney at liquidenergyhealing.com. Next upcoming show is going to be next Wednesday, July 22nd. We are approaching end of July. Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
And we will talk about the power of sound, voice, and vibration. That's interesting. We do go live for you every Wednesday in US and Europe, and every Thursday, sorry, in Australia. And as we have come to the end of this Cosmic Sis-Stars gathering, let our sensitive nature feel honored, seen, and deeply appreciated. Sensitivity is not something you carry alone. It is a shared frequency, a soft light that connects us across space, across stories, across lifetimes. May you walk forward knowing that your sensitivity is a gift, a compass, a quiet superpower. Sorry. A way your soul speaks to you with tenderness and truth. Sorry, I'm taking a sip. Oh. I have a little fan here. I think that's it.
Yes.
Drying out my throat. But anyway, let today's conversation remind you that your gentle heart is not too much. It is exactly enough, and it is beautifully designed for the world you are here to help shape. Thank you for being with us, for listening, for feeling, for showing up as your luminous self. Until next time, keep honoring your inner softness and the wisdom it brings. With infinite love, peace, and joy. Sorry, we see you, we hear you, we feel you, we honor you, we love you, we appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you.